Good morning, guys. I got my cup of coffee right here, and I'm just chilling your view, man. It is the 27th of April, 2026, which is basically King's Day in the Netherlands, of course. And I wanted to record this video because I have a week of vacation, which basically means that I'm basically, you can say, free for 1 week, and then I get back to university. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna use this week for as much content as I can make, so that when university starts, I can go back and focus on university again. Because in like 3 or 4 weeks from now, I got my exam week, which is going to be pretty stressful. So I have to kind of like prepare myself for that mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever that may mean. Um, but yeah, man, I got everything right here. Like I said, my coffee, and as you guys can maybe remember from my old videos, like already a year ago, which is crazy because time flies so fast, man. It's not even like funny. A year ago, I used to always sit here and record videos, just like look at the view of the water and kind of like think about life. And a year later, I'm in the exact same position and I'm recording another video, which is pretty crazy to think about. But that's not what I want to talk about in this video, man. But before we actually go further, I want to say 5 things that I'm grateful for today. And I hope you guys can do this exercise with me, because it like shows you kind of like start the day with a fresh mind, I think. And it kind of like reminds you of what you already have instead of what you're already like craving. So the 5 things that I'm grateful for today is, first of all, my health. I'm very grateful to have my health and not have an illness or not be like sick and stuff. So I'm very grateful for that. Second thing that I'm very grateful for are my family and my brother, of course, like my mom, my dad, my brother, and my dog, of course, all inclusive of my family. Third thing that I'm grateful for is my very close friends that I still have on this day, that were like since day one with me. So that's the third thing that I'm grateful for. The fourth thing that I'm grateful for is that I woke up today with a roof above my head, that I have a home to live in. The fifth thing that I'm grateful for is to have this phone to record this video with, or to have the privilege to record a video like this. Those are the 5 things that I'm grateful for, man. Hopefully you guys can like do this type of like little exercise with me as well, where you say the 5 things that you're grateful for, because like, once again, it reminds you of what you already have instead of what you're already like striving towards. I think that sometimes we forget the things that we do possess right now, and we kind of like sacrifice them for the things that we want in the future, which is of course normal. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just human nature, of course. Like, we always strive towards something, and in order to strive towards that thing, like it has a high price. Like, you need to pay a high price for that, and that high price, of course, comes with sacrifice. Like, you cannot do everything. You cannot get everything. Like, you have to sacrifice some things in order to get the thing that you want in the future, basically. And in that moment, we don't really realize, once again, what we have right now. We're always striving towards the next thing, and then we get the next thing, which is very funny. We always then strive towards the next thing. That's just human nature, man. Like, we will never be content with the things that we have right now. But it's these small exercises, I think it's these small implementations on a daily basis that will ultimately like remind you of like the being that you are, instead of the being that you could become. So that's the reason why I wanted to do this quick little exercise, man. I'm gonna keep this video raw, unfiltered. I'm not gonna edit this video, to be honest. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna upload it on YouTube and see how far that can take me. I'm not gonna like keep the edits very high and stuff. I'm just gonna keep it one video, no cuts. Like, if I maybe say something wrong with this video, I'm gonna keep it in the video, because I want to make this video as authentic as possible, and not like have this 50% mindset where I kind of like think that everything needs to be perfect, so I need to like edit them out and stuff. So that's not what I'm gonna do. Let's get into today's video, man. Very beautiful weather today. Um, yeah, today's video I wanted to talk about was it's okay to take a break, but it's not okay to quit. So why do I want to talk about this video? So basically, for the past, I would say 8 to 9 months, I've been living on myself, which is pretty like very crazy to think about because I never thought I would actually live on myself. Like I've genuinely like I live on myself. I live like in a very tiny, like 20 square meters studio in my city, and I never thought that I would able to do that. Like I needed to learn how to cook. I needed to learn like pay the bills and stuff. I needed to like basically you get a lot more responsibility on your shoulders, which is very good because it kind of like lets you become a man, right? That's what I think. Um, but for the past 8 to 9 months, I've been living with myself, and right now I'm with my parents because I have a 1 week vacation. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my parents, like stay here for 1 week, not think about university, because I've been thinking about university for the past like since September, you can say almost every single day. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna chill out here so that when the vacation is over, I can come back to my studio and work there like way stronger, way more focused. And basically, my studio, I don't have a television, I don't have a PlayStation, whatever. The only thing I have in my studio is like, of course, a bed that I can sleep in, um, a desk where I can do my work, and of course, a closet for my clothes. Um, but that's basically it. Now, of course, I have a laptop, but the only thing I do on the laptop is basically like mainly work. And when I'm talking about work, I'm talking about like university and like editing videos and like searching for new videos, writing and whatever. Um, that's basically what I do on a desk, man. And so I don't really have a television, so I cannot really like unwind, you can say, after a very like hard working day. The only way like I unwind is like when I go to the gym, or when I do like some physical exercise, when I go for a run, when I go to the gym, or when I lift heavy weights, whatever. I don't really have that like time off, you can say, for like 1 to 2 hours to like watch television and stuff. And the reason, of course, you might ask, but you chose for this. That's actually like, exactly right, because I didn't want to have any distractions, because I know myself. Like we have a very big television right now in my parents' house. I know when I like am in a flow of watching television and stuff, I kind of like not become addicted, but I kind of like become absorbed in the thing of the television. So I want to keep watching more. Same with sugar. Like I don't have any type of sugar in my house, like in my studio, because I don't eat that. Because I know for myself, when I kind of like get one sugar like snack, whatever, I kind of like want the next thing, want the next one, want the next one. So I kind of like limit that option for myself. The same, of course, goes with the television, like I said. Um, but yeah, the reason why I'm telling you this is because once again, I cannot really like unwind on a daily basis. So the times when I unwind is when I kind of like come here back again, like come to my parents' house. So you can view the studio type thing as like a boot camp that I go to for like 7 to 8 weeks there, complete focus, and then I take a break, because then it's, of course, the period is then done. I take a break, I come back to my parents' house for like maybe a couple of days or maybe like a week right now. Come back to my senses, take a break, go away from all of the noise, come here in peace, can focus more on content, and kind of like become more of myself, you can say. And that is the reason why, friend, why I called this. I'm gonna call this video "Why You Need to Take a Break but Don't Quit." Is because you need those moments. You see, when I was like 18, 19 years old, like I talked about this in my previous video, I thought that like I had life figured out and stuff, but I don't. Like I'm 22 years old. I'm still new into the game. I'm still learning every single day. I've not figured anything out. I'm still in the progress, of course. And the thing is, I don't think you can like figure life out when you're living. I think this life is just a continuous process of development. Like you're always aiming towards the next thing, towards the next thing, and towards the next thing. Like you can never like say, I'm done with life. That's when you die. But you cannot, like, when you're 25 years old, for example, say, you know what, I'm done with life. I learned everything that I could have learned. I don't think that is possible. I think it's just a continuous cycle of improvement of growth that you can learn every single day, because there are so many things to learn that you cannot really learn everything in one lifetime. You maybe need like 1,000 lifetimes to learn everything, right? So you cannot really, with one lifetime, which is basically one lifespan of like 80 years old, 90, whatever, you cannot learn everything, right? You need, I think, multiple lives to learn a couple of things even. So to have this idea that, you know what, I'm 30 years old, I've got life figured out, I kind of like got rid of that mindset a long time ago, because it doesn't serve me. It just doesn't serve me, man. And I hope you guys can resonate with that as well, where you basically, like life, it's a very complex thing. And of course, we make it as complex as it is, but you cannot say one day, like, I'm done with life, like I've learned everything that I could have learned. It's not true. Like, it's endless. It goes to infinity. You can learn every single day more things, right? But coming back to the topic, the reason why I come here, my friend, the reason why I kind of like come back to my parents' house instead of working further is because I need to take a break. Like, we always go on social media, and I made this video, I talked about this in my one of my previous videos back in like October 2025 when I was in Germany. I said we have this like notion when you go on social media that we need to be busy 24/7, we need to work 24/7, we need to grind 24/7. Sleep is overrated. Like 5 hours of sleep is enough. That is not a very good way to live, my friend. And I'm starting to realize that, because I used to be in that kind of like camp. I used to be in that like boat. I used to be in the same boat. But then I realized that, okay, but this is actually hurting me more than helping me. Because you need time, especially for your brain. If you're doing like a lot of deep cognitive tasks, like deep intellectual stuff, like I do some with like physics and stuff, mathematics and like whatever university provides, you have to take time off for your brain to like come back stronger. And I think this is also very interesting. I think the most creative thoughts that I've ever had was outside of the realm of work. Like, I didn't come with some of the ideas that I had when I was like very busy, like working and stuff. It actually came to me when I was doing like something completely different than work. It's like these shower thoughts that you have. It's like completely different. It's very different than doing the intellectual work, doing the tasks, whatever, and then getting the thought, because that probably never happens. Like, of course, not nobody's Einstein, but like Einstein, I think had his ideas when he was like doing something else, when he was like walking in nature and stuff. That is when like the ideas come to him. It was not in the rigor of mathematics. It was not in the rigorous path of physics. It was in these small moments of breaks when he kind of like went into nature, like I'm doing right now. And when he just sit there and he just kind of like let himself be, instead of thinking, instead of becoming, he just was in the moment. And that is what like a lot of the creative thoughts come from, I think. Like, it doesn't come from striving. It comes from taking a break and then coming back stronger to the thing that you were fighting for. That is, my friend, like, why, if you're maybe like overwhelmed or maybe like burned out a little bit, because I was, once again, I think on the verge of burnout. It was like, if we would say burnout is like 100%, I was maybe like 20% in, because I was just working 24/7. Like, I was Monday to Friday, I'm at university. Saturday, Sunday, I'm working my part-time job. Thursday night, I'm working on my part-time job. And like Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday even. And then Friday, I'm in the gym, or I'm like running and stuff. So my schedule is pretty full. And I like that very much. It's like a challenge that I kind of like get much pleasure by. But when you cannot do this like for a couple of years, like straight on. You need to take like, you need to like hit it, and then you need to come back, strategize, like come back to the whiteboard, come back to the drawing map, strategize a little bit. Okay, what is the thing that I'm going to focus on the next period? Like, what am I going to do better, whatever, and then go back stronger. Like, you need those breaks, man. You cannot go always, because when you go always in, when you're always working, you're thinking one-dimensionally. You're thinking like in one tunnel vision, in one way. I'm going to make another video about that, like why tunnel vision may hold you back. But what you need to do, I've said this in many of my videos, and I learned this from the book of Robert Greene. He said, you want to think multi-dimensionally. Like, you don't want to have this tunnel vision on one thing only. You want to focus on, of course, a couple of things, not just one thing, and become very skilled at those things. Of course, you can do too much, and if you do too much, you get very little like skill in every single area. But if you do like a couple of things, you can get very much skilled in those couple of things that you're focusing on. And I'm starting to realize that I never understood it, because when I read the book, it was back in like 2021. I was 17 years old. I read the book Mastery, and I never understood it back then. But right now I understand it. Like, you have to think multidimensionally. In order to think multidimensionally, you have to take a break. You don't have to quit. That's why I say take a break, but don't quit. Don't quit. Take a break. Like, come back. Like, go away from the battlefield. See the battlefield in itself and say, okay, what else do I need to do in order to come back stronger for the next battle? Like, what strategies do I need to implement? What type of things do I need to focus on? What type of new habits do I need to do in order to get to the next level? Those things come not in the moment when you're doing the old habits, but those moments come in the moment of reflection, when you're thinking, where you kind of like go away from the work and you think, okay, let me just take a break, 1 or 2 days off, and let me just look at my life from another perspective and see what I can do with it. But that doesn't mean that you're a quitter. That doesn't mean that you're going to quit. That means that you're pretty much strategizing on the next battle that you're going to face. And that's just what I wanted to say, man. My coffee is cold. Hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, share, subscribe, and I see you guys